your first school in 2000 and then probably first 1 or 2 years of struggle. Now 200 preschools. How does it make you feel?
It's always a good feeling to have such a good network, big network.
Coming from a slightly conservative family where working in a corporate, not probably celebrated, to being trained to take over the business one day. So how did you join? Or were you interested, first of all, to do what your parents were doing?
How I came into education is I absolutely loved what they were doing. There needs to be a major revolution in education. The perspective of the entire country needs to change, whether it's on the government level or us as the private players.
I always ask parents to give quality time to the child. Listen the child, understand the child, then come to us. Whatever we can contribute additionally apart from the education, we are here to help you out. Today, you cannot ignore, whether you like or not, right? You cannot ignore the technology.
Hello, welcome to Education Matters by JK. Our today's guest, in fact guests, are part of a dynamic family who runs a very successful preschool chain in India with a very strong presence in North India. We have Mr. S.K. Rathor, Chairman and Managing Director of Sanfort Schools, and we have his daughter, Miss Sneha Rathor, CEO of Sanfort Group of Schools. So let's welcome Mr. Rathor and Miss Sneha. Hello, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So thank you very much for coming. I know you're busy. You have a very fast life in Delhi because you run more than 200 schools, preschools. You have one K-12 already, and hopefully doing some more. So thank you for taking out the time and coming and meeting me and talking about education. So let's start with, I know you for many years now. You have a very interesting trajectory. You were doing something else, and then, you saw that there was a gap. And just tell us what got you into the education industry.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jitu, for inviting us. So, as you said, I started with something else. So, I started my journey as a computer support engineer in one of the big company of the country, and then I started my own computer support company, and I ran that business for almost 15 years.
Wow.
And then during this period only, we decided कि एक school खोलना है. Let's start one school. Because my wife, I come from Rajput family. So it was very difficult to convince our parent कि let's allow my wife also to go out for the job. Though she was educated. So then my father advised कि you should start a school for her. So it would be...
When was this? Which year was this?
It happened in 98, 99.
So almost 26 years ago.
26 years.
27
Yeah.
years
So
ago.
we started our first preschool in year 2000.
Wow.
So already 25 years are gone. So this was the support of my father who advised you should start a school for my wife Kavita. And it would be easy to convince my mother. She is not going for any job. She is doing her own only. So that's the reason, and that the time when we launched our first preschool in year 2000.
And then when did you, so this was your own brand, or you
See, at that point of time, not
You're
much
just
of
learning the
not much of preschools were there, not
Okay.
much of brands were there. So we started in Noida. So, that is again in a story. See, I applied for a piece of land in Noida Authority. Unfortunately, I got it. So initially, I thought if I get the land, then I'll sell it on the premium. So that was the time my father said, no, you should not sell it. You start a preschool. So at that point of time, we were not, having any knowledge about the preschool industry, because I was from the computer side and my wife was homemaker till that time. So we struggled a lot. We started in my son's nickname Ankur. So we started in his name. Then we struggled a lot for first year. It was very difficult to get first 10 admissions.
Yeah.
So in first year, we got not more than 18 admissions, complete 1 year. So one day we sat together, what to do. to attract the children and the parent. It was very difficult to convince
Correct.
the parent why
Correct.
should they send their 2.5 year old child to the school. So then the school was beautifully set up. We have a small train, then pool and everything, small zoo. Lots of things were there because it was a big premises of some 1,500 square yard. So one day it came to my mind, let's open the gates of the preschool in the second half for RWA children. So let's allow the children to come with their parents, play in the school and go back. It worked well.
Okay.
So the many of the children, started crying, we are not going. So that was the point when we started getting admissions. So whoever child was not going to the any school, they started getting admitted in our schools. So second year we started picking up.
So from coming from a background where your wife, it was looked down upon women of the house to go and work somewhere, to now you have second generation where your daughter, you've trained her where, I've spoken to her many times. She represents your brand. Now I think you are also heading the brand. You're the CEO of Sanfort. So what is this, Sneha? I would like to know from your angle, because you've heard how. And you are married, so we'll talk about that angle also. But coming from a slightly conservative family where working in a corporate or someplace was not probably celebrated, to being trained to become take over the business one day. So how did you join? Or were you interested, first of all, to do what your parents were doing?
So, to be honest, I have spoken about it in past also. So, I would say that my grandfather was like really open-minded. So, he also wanted me to pursue something in business only. And same were my parents. They were very, very supportive. And I think jokingly, I always tell everybody he was not even prepared for the fact that I have to be married off also mentally. So, so the point is that how I came into education is I absolutely loved what they were doing. So I started working when I was when I was in school myself.
Okay.
So
helping them out, you mean to say?
helping them out. And I remember my mom, there had been times when I would tell her, like, how in summer holidays kids say, that mama, I want to buy this, I want to go here, I want to do this. So I remember my mom would tell me, I have my summer camp, you do something for the kids, I will pay you, you go buy whatever you want.
Nice.
So I used to work with her in the summer camps also, when I was in 9th, 8th grade and all of those things. So that's when I started. And I used to love being in the school. After I came from the school, I used to spend time in the school. I used to sit with the teachers. I used to understand how they're functioning, the entire thing. So I think it was godsend that I found my passion really early on in what my parents were doing it. So it came very naturally. It was not something that I, how children have, take a phase to understand what they want to do in life. So it came to me very naturally that I know this is what I want to do. Like, he wanted me to maybe pursue CA and all. But at the back of my mind, I always knew this is what I want to do. I want to go ahead in education only. And hence, by the age of 16 or 17, I started traveling with him, going out. I started participating in terms of how franchising works. So I started as an assistant back then. And for a long time, nobody even, neither I used to show that, and neither he used to show that. So nobody knew that I'm his daughter also.
Okay.
For the longest time. So that's how I started off in education. And I'm absolutely enjoying in each and every way because it comes from the heart.
So it's very interesting because not a lot of people are fortunate, firstly, to understand at a young age what they want to do, and secondly, to have a supportive father who was training you from age 16. Because I think a lot of learning also happens in the house, as much as education happens at school, but also parents have a different responsibility on, and some of the life skills, I think if you have, of course, an educator parents, it makes it much more easier. So very fortunate. So coming back to you, you said your first school in 99 2000,
2000.
and then probably first 1 or 2 years of struggle. Now 200 preschools. How does it make you feel?
See, it's always a good feeling to have such a good network, big network, and it always a very good feeling when you travel to any other city and you have people waiting for you in different cities.
Hmm.
So see, we have never thought of having such a big business or big network
Hmm.
when we started our first preschool. Idea was just to have one school,
Hmm.
so that my wife would be engaged in that school because she was educated. She was masters in education at that point of time
Hmm.
itself. So, but later on, after 9 years of running one preschool, 8 year running exactly one preschool, then we there another area coming up well in
Hmm.
our vicinity. So we opened up one more school there.
Hmm.
Okay, because many children are coming from that far place. So let's set up one more school there.
Hmm.
Then again, parents started asking to us, "Okay, why don't you open a school in our area?"
Hmm.
So there were many parents who were expecting to open a school in their own areas.
Correct.
Then we asked parents, why don't you
You
start?
start. So it is very organic.
Yeah,
You
it's
you
very
you
organic.
you didn't think
No,
of
no, no. It's
franchising product.
yeah.
It was
It's
very organic.
so the kind of response from the parents we started getting.
Hmm.
So then it came to my mind, let's you know
Make a product.
make a franchise model,
Hmm.
decide a brand name,
Hmm.
and start working on that.
Hmm.
Not immediately, have homework
Hmm.
completely,
Hmm.
and till that time many brands have come up. So I
Hmm.
studied lots of brands, I traveled a lot,
Hmm.
and what should be a unique feature in my school,
Correct.
because I don't want to copy any other schools.
Hmm.
And whatever we were doing for last 8 9 years,
Hmm.
that may not work in other areas, because here Kavita's name was working because she was so involved with the
Hmm.
children, but it won't work everywhere because we have
Hmm.
franchise partner there.
Correct.
So we must have some kind of USPs. We must have something which is very very unique for the play school,
Hmm.
the activities, the role play models, and that. So I traveled a lot for almost 1 year before launching our franchise model. Before launching Sanfort,
Hmm.
I a year back I started winding up my computer business,
Hmm.
because I decided, though I was doing very good, we decided that we cannot do two business
Two
parallel.
businesses together.
I can't do justice with both the businesses at the same
Hmm.
time. So I started, slow down my computer business, and the financial year end,
So
I
2008, you're saying?
2009 31st March, I closed down my computer
Okay.
business,
Hmm.
and from 1st April to 2009 20th December, I keep on working on the model,
Okay.
and 20th December 2009 I launched Sanfort franchise
Nice.
model.
Nice.
So before launching the brand, I had one franchise site,
Hmm. Wow.
even before finalizing the brand name.
Oh,
So
wow.
that the kind of
That's the belief that people had
yeah,
in what
that
you
the
were doing.
belief the people had.
Very good.
And I tell you,
Hmm.
even the first franchise what I signed when the name was even not finalized is still with me.
Excellent. Okay. So that's a testimony of what you bring to the table, and and I think in our field in education, there's nothing bigger than trust, right? Because a lot of parents are sending their children for few hours, and and if we as a community are not trustworthy, then the entire
Yes.
thing collapses. So great, you're torchbearer of that trust, and you've been doing some excellent work there. Uh, then I think you also thought of starting a K-12 school, and you started a few years back. So I'm sure this is also very organic because
Yeah. This is very organic.
yeah. So tell us about that. And where is the school? How big is the school?
Yeah. So many of the parents, when
Hmm.
this is very natural, when a
Hmm.
child comes to a certain age, the child has to move from preschool to
Correct.
10 plus 2 school.
Hmm.
So many of the not many, most of the parent kept asking, why don't you upgrade your school?
Hmm.
Why should we go when we are so much happy and my child is also
Correct.
enjoying in the school, why don't you start grade 1, grade 2, grade 5 like this? So then we took over one running school in Greater Noida in year 2019. So we rebranded, we renovated, we rebranded, and we hired good teachers and staff there in 2019. July 1st, we took over that school. And March 2020, COVID stuck.
Oh,
So the first session, we had to,
go online.
Go online completely.
Go online. So that school we took over in Greater Noida, and that is a beautifully built school in a land of more than 5 acres.
Wow.
We have very good infrastructure, very good sport facilities. We have swimming pool half of the Olympic size.
Wow.
We have cricket pitch. We have, you name any sports we have.
Excellent.
So we are doing fantastic. So first 2 years was of high struggle because of COVID.
Because of COVID.
But now we have very good, because the name is there.
Correct.
In that area, we are known by the name of Sanfort. So our K-12 school's name is also Sanfort World School.
Nice.
So we are doing fantastic there. And we are on the way to start one more school and then keep on adding.
More power to you.
Yeah, thank
you. Start many more. Sneha, so, Mr. Rathor spoke about his journey, how he started. I'm sure you've been part of the journey. As you said, you started helping them out when you were 16. You've formally been part of the system now for how many years? Like formally as a CEO?
As a CEO, it's been close to 6 years now.
6 years.
Wow.
Right. Before that, I was completely into academics. Right. I was looking at the academics and the training department and all of those things.
Nice.
So I think formally in the company, I have been for almost 10, 11 years. Nearly.
So you've seen the entire phase, but
Yeah.
were you involved equally in the business development part or just the curriculum part? That's what you're saying.
So I was always involved in the operations part completely. I'm more of a operations person, right? But obviously I've been everywhere. So I've seen
Correct.
all the departments, been a part of it, done a lot of franchise expos also.
Very
So
nice.
initially, as I said, that I started off as an assistant in the company. So that's what I started as a franchise assistant.
Oh, very good.
So to understand the business, how we're actually, so what we're pitching, what we're doing is like where it all began with.
Nice. So I'm sure your father's struggle was something different. What
Yeah.
was your struggle in the organization? Because, people may feel that it's very easy because, your dad has
Yeah,
done this and, you got it on a platter. But I'm sure you had your own struggles. And how can you talk about how was the team with you? Because I know that's the biggest struggle that, any youngster would face.
So I think initially when I started off, in the team, if I say that time it was not a struggle because I was just a small tiny assistant.
Yeah.
So they didn't like, yeah, okay, whatever, she's coming to the office, she's herself is learning and like any other assistant would, right? So I think at that time it was not at all like that, but slowly and gradually, because I graduated over the years and took hold of a lot of things, and when I got into the management aspect of in the company, then I think I could see a change in terms of a reaction that they feel, oh, she's too young, or uh, we have much more experience than her, and she's heading us and all of those things. But I think by largely what I understood, not inside the company but outside, that was a bigger challenge, because when I started in education, I always say it, but anyways, I'll repeat it again, that wherever that I went to, any conferences, any place, I could only see gray hairs. So there was no young generation coming into education, which was shocking for me, that there's no young mind in education.
Yeah.
And people at places like that would not take you seriously. Like, what would she know? What is she
Correct.
doing in
Yeah,
this
yeah.
room?
Correct.
We
Correct.
have like 20 years of experience,
Yeah.
15 years of experience, and
But you
so.
too had experience, right? Because you started very
But
young.
they
You
don't.
started at
Yeah, but
16.
that's not how it works in education. I
Yeah.
think it is slowly building now,
Yeah.
because I see a lot of young people now coming in. But when I started off, absolutely,
Yeah.
I see nobody. And so to say, I was in one of the conferences in on the stage. Somebody announced on this panel we have uh, the youngest educator in our country, and I was like, oh my god, I am excited to see this person,
Mm.
because I was also 22, 23 at
Mm.
that time, and I want to see this person, and that the
That
person was
turned out to be.
32 at that time.
Oh, she's 32? Okay.
Too. So I was
Yeah.
like, where
Yeah,
are
where
the
are the
young
young
people?
people?
Where are the young minds? Why don't we have it? We're talking about, now that we're talking about, these startups and young minds doing so well.
Yeah.
I think education is yet to imbibe all of those things.
Yeah. And I do get it from the research part or the curriculum part that
Yeah.
you may need more experience in that.
Right.
But I think for management, young people are equally capable. And also you
Absolutely.
have a background in management, right? I think what you studied abroad. You
So
were in,
yes,
yeah.
I did my master's in early childhood
So
education.
there you go. You have your
So very few in education who
Yeah.
have done it. Also, having said that,
Hmm.
so that's where I feel that there needs to be now, of course.
You're formally trained. You've been trained
Yes.
since you were 16. So
Yes.
you are as capable as, even if you were to hire somebody, it would be
Yeah.
very difficult to find that skill set, right? Who's
Right.
somebody's trained at 16, doing this as passion,
Yeah.
plus formally done masters. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but I understand what you're trying to say,
Yeah,
that
so
people don't know this background.
People
So,
don't know this.
so
And
maybe today they'll hear it and they'll know where
no,
you're.
I think still also they feel, I mean, now I'm in early 30s,
Hmm.
probably now, and it's been a while that I'm in education, but still for people who might not know me,
Hmm.
they would say, oh, so now your daughter, you're training your daughter. I said, it's been a while for me now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Perception and people coming with their
Yeah,
own.
so young
own
people, young educators is still a perception that education needs to take it seriously.
Seriously.
And I think
I'm
that's where
guilty
the
too.
change in education will come, when
Yeah.
you'll have more young minds.
So I'm guilty myself, because first time when I saw you, I was expecting to see your father at one of the conferences,
Yeah.
and I saw you,
Yeah.
and I think you were collecting an award, or you were part of the panel. I'm a little fuzzy about what was that, and I'm like, why is Rathor sent some school kid? Because
I look tiny also.
Yeah, so I was like, what is happening? Then I got to know that you are his daughter, and I said,
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, even my reaction was that, right? But
Yeah.
nobody knows the background, so that's why I said, this is a great medium to talk about what was your struggle, what was your journey. So
Yeah.
great for pointing it out, and again, I think you've done a fantastic job with your team. And I see the growth. I mean, close to 200 schools now. So, of course, it's a great team effort, right? Also, your son, right?
Yeah.
So, your son is also part of the company.
Yeah. Now he's part of the company.
What is he doing in the?
So my son and son-in-law both are part of company.
Oh,
now.
nice.
So first I talk about my son-in-law.
Mhm.
He was into coffee business.
Okay.
He owns the master franchise right of some big coffee brand for certain territory. So, but one day he came to me, Papa, you should also involve me, because she'll come to school at 7:30. तो मेरी नींद तो खराब हो ही जाती है. So let's involve me also, because my business start at 11. And there's no high involvement of mine required in that business. So he looks after of K-12 business.
Nice.
So he is the one who is taking care of our K-12 school for last 2.5 years, and he is doing fantastic.
Very good.
So once he is confident, then only we decided now we should expand K-12 also.
Correct.
Because we need people who take different segments, different verticals. So K-12 vertical, Kshitiz is taking care.
Nice.
So my son Abhishek is also there in the company for quite some time now. He takes care of all the operations and expansion.
Okay.
So he decide which market to open up, which city to work on for the franchising. So he work on the
Entire
cities,
expansion,
what kind of potential is
new
there,
territories.
what kind of need is there, whether the good preschools are required in any particular area, whether it is a small town. So that is his role in the company. And then to set up the branches, handholding of the franchisees to make that successful, and I support him on all these works. But his main role is to take care of expansion and operation.
Right now, I know you are in 2, 3 states. You are very, very strong in 2, 3 states, right? Delhi, then UP, you're very
Jammu
strong.
also.
Jammu, you are very strong. So North, I think you were extremely strong. I know in South, I've seen your schools. In you have in Hyderabad,
We have.
and yeah. So he's looking into which more territories you can. So tell me something more about because in India, we always talk about this. There's approximately 1.2 to 3 crore children being born every year, right? That's a large number. And if you're talking just about preschool years, then it clubs into say about 5 crore, 5 to 6 crore children who are of a preschool going age, right? And of course, there are many schools, and catering to many segments. A large part of our population also falls under, which they need help, aided schools or government schools. But then, the private schools where, you and I are a part of. So where does your school, what is the sort of target that, what is the sort of parent you're targeting? One is that. Other is what is the sort of franchisees that you target? That these are the people. This is what my product is for, and if you both can share some light, you probably from the curriculum angle, and sir probably you from the expansion model, that these are the sort of places that we want to go, and this is what we have to offer. And I think we've been known as a land where, of course, over the years, our education sort of came down for whatever reason, but we always had educated people, right, in our country. And even today, I think we are the only, I don't know about if we are the only country, but I think we're definitely amongst the top 5 or 10 countries who takes education extremely seriously, right? You will never have parents who are okay with their children not going to
studying,
school. Right. So, if you can shed some light from.
So we initially when I was working on the model, franchise model, what kind of market I should look for, and what is my thought behind launching or expanding my school. So my vision was very clear. My school should be open for everybody, not for the niche segment only. So I have schools in metro cities. If you talk about Delhi NCR, we have a school in Gurgaon, which is a niche market. South Delhi, which is a niche market. We have a school in schools in Ghaziabad also, which is not so financially that much paying market. We have a school in village also, where we are getting some 800, 900 rupees. So now what I am targeting, because now this preschool education has become mandatory for every child.
Correct.
After National
After the
Education
ne-
Policy
correct,
2020
correct.
is
Yeah.
out. So now my focus is shifting from metros. Metro will work,
Yeah.
will not stop working, but my focus will moving from metros to tier 3 cities. So because there is need, so I'm not running behind the money. This is a need what I have to cater as educational and entrepreneur, because I have to create many entrepreneurs like me who will deliver the quality education in tier 3 cities, or even the semi-urban or semi-rural areas.
Correct.
Because that is the duty of our
As educators. True.
educators.
I totally get it.
So we need we are working on that. So we have developed a model which is low cost model. We'll go to small towns and we'll ask people, because the investment capacity of the people is not so high there. They don't want to, even they have money, they don't want to spend that much of money, some 15 lakh, 20 lakh, 25 lakh rupees to set up a preschool. But 7-8 lakh rupees they are ready to invest.
So I have a question from this, right? That, you know, when we try to, develop something, because we are passionate about education, we want education to go to every
Everywhere.
child should get
Yeah.
education, right? Now, and government, of course, they try to do at their own level, and I like the NEP, the model is great, but unfortunately, not many states have adopted it. There's still a lot of controversy happening around it. We'll not get into the controversy. We'll only talk about things which we can solve. And I don't like to talk of, I think complaining is not our job as educators, right? Our job is to solve problems. So, do you think that because education is free in this country, we've done a disservice to a lot of children?
See, as far as our constitution says, it's
It
free.
is free,
It's
right?
free, but it's not free. It is
Yeah.
funded by taxpayers'
Somebody's funding it.
taxpayers' money.
Somebody's funding it, right?
So government is funding from the tax what you and me are giving.
Correct.
So, but the kind of deliveries is happening in government schools, the kind of deliveries is happening in private school. If you talk about cost versus the quality,
Cost benefit is
that is very difficult.
Chalk and cheese.
Correct. So the kind of fees my schools are charging and the commitment we are giving to the children and their parents, what kind of education their child will get, that is very, very high.
Correct.
So if today's parent don't think of the free things, India is a big country, 140 crores market, and education is on the top priority of the parents today.
Correct.
So they'll cut their expenses somewhere else and they'll pay for the good education. So whoever wanted to or whoever is capable of funding their child's education, they definitely send their child to the private school only. They don't want to send to the government school. So that is the reason we are entering into a small market, because even the farmer today, because the farmland is not left behind in big chunks.
Correct.
So there's nothing to do for their next generation if they'll not educate their child.
Correct.
So even the farmer today want to educate their child, and even the farmer knows I should send my child, if I wanted to give the good education, to a private school only. So that is the reason. So we are not doing any disservice, what you said.
No,
I'm
saying government is doing disservice by making it free, because if you're gonna claim it free and then you're not gonna see, I think the difference between aided or government school and a private school is accountability. When we start a franchise school, irrespective of what the fee is, high or low, there's accountability. The person who's invested whatever, 5 lakh or 50 lakh or 5 crore in opening up a preschool or a school, that's their own money, right? Their own capital that they've put in. So there's a lot of responsibility that, I can't waste this money. If somebody's paying me fees, I'm answerable to them.
Yes.
Right? So accountability goes both ways. First of all, you're accountable to your own cash and, wherever you borrowed that money from, and secondly, to the parent, which I feel that, in a public school may or may not happen. And I was talking disservice from that point of view.
So I tell you, see, I am a product of government school, government universities only. At my time, the education, every child was going to a government school, because not much of private schools were there. Because teachers' children were also studying in that school. Because government officers' children were also studying in that school. Because local, politicians' children were also studying in that school. That's why the education was good at that point of time in the government schools also. But now, because our children went to private school, your children went to private school. So as officers, children went to private schools. So that is the reason. Even the teacher who are teaching in that particular school, they don't want to send their child into that school.
No, and I'm sure even
that is the reason.
And I'm sure even at our age, we saw the gaps, right? And that's why we sort of we tried to fill that gap. That there are gaps.
So we are doing service to the nation.
Yeah.
So whatever gap is created because of the government
or whatever, maybe lack
fail
of
to deliver.
resources.
We
Yeah.
filled that
Yeah,
gap
so
basically.
there are multiple problems,
Yeah.
right? Like lack of resources, lack of accessibility, lack of proper training,
Yes.
So, I mean, if we go deep into it, then, we'll forget.
And
It'll be
there's no accountability fixed
correct.
in the government setup.
And that's why private works,
Yes.
because, if parents want private, if entrepreneurs are getting into it, then why blame? I'm saying it only from the angle that everything happens and private schools are blamed. Every time you open the newspaper, they've made it into business. They're doing this. They are charging fees.
See, if any mishappening happens in any school, then the chairman of the school is blamed.
Correct.
And FIR happens against the chairman.
Correct.
If
And the
anything
principal.
happen in the government school,
Nothing happens.
nothing happened against the education minister.
Nothing.
Because he's the responsible person for the
Yeah,
government school.
Correct. So accountability, right?
Accountability.
So that's a problem. So coming from your angle, and you see the sort of market that you all are aspiring to get into. What are the challenges that you see? What is your view on what is the need over there from the curriculum angle? Because you've spent more time in curriculum and all that. Do you think that what's happening in smaller towns or even in metros, you see gaps, and what kind of gaps?
So I think we all are aware that there are still huge gaps. So by largely, whether what we are talking about in terms of the accountability, in terms of a lot of things, what you said, I mean, the topic is really vast, right? So the point is that there needs to be a major revolution in education. The perspective of the entire country needs to change, whether it's on the the government level or us as the private players also, right? Because what is happening, we're still focusing at a different ladder altogether. Whether you talk about academics also, right, we are still on that ladder that what the colleges wants, the schools have to give, what the school wants, the preschool has to give. Correct. Right? Rather than focusing at the part that the early years are the most important ones. So let's try to imbibe those years and really work upon it, and not think about ki bacha jab first standard mein jayega, they have to give an oral also and written also to get into a good school.
Test, correct.
Right. And so to say when they go into a college. So we're following an altogether different ladder.
Correct.
Right. We're not actually harnessing the skills of a child. So that is a zoom out view of the entire education where we're really lacking at, whether you say metropolitans or B towns or C towns, whatever. But also, having said that, I mean, although most of the schools, the private preschools, they're trying to imbibe a lot of free play or play-based learning and all of those things, because that's the natural way of teaching the children, especially in early years.
Correct.
And somehow, though restrained by the fact that we're all regulated by CBSE when it comes to K-12, but still, most of the private schools are trying to do a more of a experiential learning, right? Looking outside the classroom as to what all can be done.
Mr. Rathor spoke about his vision of, now even entering tier 2 cities or tier 3 cities, rural areas, semi-rural areas. What are the challenges that you see when you, I know you are in some areas,
Right.
In Jammu and all that, but when you go to all these smaller cities, I'm sure the challenges are different. You may have to rework on your, say, curriculum or teacher training. So can you speak about those challenges that you foresee, and how are you gonna reach out to the last mile? It's a great noble thought, but
Right.
there are a lot of
Yeah, of course, there are a lot of challenges. Because as we say in India that after every 100 kilometers, your dialect changes.
even
your
shorter,
thought-
50
yeah,
to
even,
50.
yeah. So obviously there are a lot of challenges. There are language challenges also. There are perspective challenges also. Certain areas think in a certain way. Their parents, their demands are different. Their expectations are different, right? So what we do in Sanfort, we try to sort of analyze and then implement. So I think our curriculum is not something that we've made this thing and it is like fit
Hmm.
to all the places.
Hmm.
So what we do is, how you say, it's all tailor made.
Hmm.
So if you're talking about metropolitan, and let's not say metropolitan also, because Delhi NCR has a different expectation. Similarly, when we have schools in Bangalore, they have a different expectations, whether it's coming to language also,
Hmm.
or what sort of a expectation that K-12 schools have in Bangalore.
Yeah. Correct.
So accordingly, we try to frame out our curriculum around that. And a lot of times, I think in B and C town, most important is to spend a lot of time with the teachers and with the parents. So stakeholders have to be put together.
Hmm.
Because see, teachers have to be there are a lot of pronunciation issues also. And I think when we are trying to also cater to the fact that everybody, the curriculum wherever that we are implementing is of a certain level, of a certain
Hmm.
you say everything comes out to be even, right? Whatever that we're teaching. So what we do, we use a lot of technology through it.
Hmm.
So we have our own LMS and ERP system, which is all built in house.
Hmm.
So suppose in whatever the trainings that the teachers are getting in Delhi NCR, they're getting it everywhere else. And they can always come back. So monthly we do a lot of review with the teachers, right? So they can come back that, hey, you made this lesson plan, or you wanted to implement this sort of a thing, but this is the challenge that we are having. Maybe the parents are not accepting it, or maybe we are not able to understand it, or is there a easier way
So you
of doing
modify
this
it
thing?
according to
So we
whatever
try
the
to modify
local
it.
requirement
So
is.
we work
You were
more
also
on
saying something
one-on-one.
about story that you told me before we started, about
The
smaller
parent,
towns,
yeah.
and how your teachers or center heads communicate.
So suppose we were talking about Jammu only, because we have a lot of schools in Jammu as well, preschools. So over there is one of our branch which is at the border area only, right? And over there, parents obviously do not they're not equipped to understand English. So the branch heads, the franchisee partners, they used to really work upon parents to make them understand what we are doing in school. So every day, even after writing it in their diaries and sending it back home, they used to call each and every parent every day to make them understand what they're doing in school. And they would use the local language Dongri to make them understand.
Wow.
So such things, and there are a lot of examples, like when we are talking about, we used to have a branch in south, and that too in a very very small village, a very small, it was not even a district, in Bijapur also. So over there also, initially it was a challenge for us to make the parents understand that what preschooling is all about, because there was no preschool before that.
Okay.
Right. So we used to do a lot of community work with the parents there. Ki sham ko unko bulaya, mothers ko. We used to do a little activity with them and all of them. Then they started understanding that so जो हम यहाँ पर fancy words use करते हैं, mother toddler program, over there in a small place like Bijapur, we started off with a community of mothers coming and doing some activities with the with their children and the teachers, right? And then that's how they analyze that, this is important that I send my 3-year-old to a school so that they can play and they can learn through it and all of that. And that school started doing well a lot. And so such stories are there. And I think one of the important things that I realized with the parent community is, I think B and C town parents are more excited. They want to adapt more. Because I think metropolitan parents, that's a difference that I see, that they feel that that's how schools function. I will see the notification on my app and we'll do it, get through it, whatever. But I think the smaller towns, they feel like, what is the school
they're
doing?
more involved.
Yes, they're more involved. I want to go to the school, ask how my child is doing, how I can be a part of it. So I think the involvement level is very very high, which I really appreciate. And so is the teachers also, I would say.
So I've heard this from some preschool owners, and even franchisees or edupreneurs, as they like to call themselves, that the sort of the way people used to look at education
Yeah.
is changing, and I hear it from you that smaller towns or
Yes.
rural areas or semi-urban areas, parents are, you feel the difference that they are more respectful towards school and
Absolutely.
urban. What is your experience been?
Absolutely, 200%. As I said that, so suppose in a huge difference is, I'm sure that you would have also faced it, that in metropolitans, if you ask the parents to come for an orientation or to come for some sort of a parent workshop or whatever, so the turnout ratio is going to be much lesser
Hmm.
than what we see it in smaller towns.
Hmm.
They feel like that school ne bulaya hai, so we have to
To
go,
go.
because there must be something that they're doing, because they're doing it for my child,
Child.
right? So no matter how busy their schedule would be, but they would always make out time to go to their children's school. So that's a huge difference, and as I said, their level of participation is much higher than metropolitans.
Metropolitan.
I mean, obviously, I think in metropolitans the lifestyle that we have is very, very fast paced. I really understand that, but to all the parents, children are very important,
Yeah.
and participating
Yeah.
in their education is very, very important, and especially in early years.
Yeah.
So one thing that I would like to say, as a child also, my parents never missed any of the PTMs in my entire life, no matter what. Right, so forget about annual days or stage presentation. That's what people generally parents are waiting for. But I think they never, none, like both of them, they did not miss
A
even
single.
one
Wow,
single
that's really
PTM.
good. Yeah.
So why that, today as a child I realized that how serious or how involved my parents were when I was in school.
Correct.
So that leaves a lot of impact on the child also.
Definitely on their confidence, the way
Absolutely.
they negotiate with the world, it changes completely.
Yes.
I get it. So, have you seen the difference in parent reaction at your level? You must be getting some feedback from the teachers or your, franchise partners.
Yeah. So, see, being into this field for more than 25 years now, so the parents' perspective have changed a lot,
Completely.
completely.
Hmm.
So earlier, the parent used to look at the school as the first school, preschool. If I talk about first school of their child, they used to respect the teachers and the school a lot. If any invitation came from the school, so they have to come.
They have to come.
But now, because the priorities has changed, lots of corporate pressure is there on the parent. I think because of that, lifestyle is changed. Because of that, they have to uh, skip many things.
Correct.
Of their schools. And on the other side, if the child is going to a private school, whether it is irrespective whether it is a preschool or
Or a
K-12
K-12
school,
school.
so many of the parents, not everybody, many of the parents look at this is a service kind of thing. If I have admitted my child in a good preschool or K-12 school, that is now the school's responsibility. I have passed on my responsibility to the
To
school.
the school,
outsourced
yeah.
my
But you can't
Yes.
you can't
Yes.
outsource the parenting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
the child is your own.
Yeah.
So
For few things, the parents are
Yeah.
required.
So children remain for 4-5 hours in the school, whether it is a preschool or K-12 school. 3 hours in the preschool and the 5 hours in the K-12 school. The rest of the
Time,
21 hours or
19 hours.
19 hours are at the
Correct.
home. Parent, I always ask parent to
Hmm.
give quality time to the child.
Correct.
Listen the child,
Yeah.
understand the child.
Yeah.
Then come to us. Whatever we can contribute additionally, as apart from the education, we are here to help you out. But bring a good child out of the
Yeah.
home.
You think some of, see, I understand parents being busy and now very difficult because both parents are working. Back in the days, maybe both parents were not working, right? So one of them was always there. Both parents working, as you rightly said, corporate pressure or work pressure. But also in some places, I see that because they look at it as a service which they have paid for, sometimes beyond their means. That earlier it was more like, okay, it's very little fees, so these guys are doing seva, or it's like they're actually doing a service, a good service to me, or charitable service. Now it is looked upon, it's like a paid service, so it's slightly condescending. Do you think that is happening everywhere, or you think that by and large it's okay?
Some time back, Sneha said she was the only youngsters in the education sector she realized at one conference. So why people are not coming into the education or teaching profession? This is a big question. Today, no parent want to make their child, whether it is a girl or boy,
a teacher.
a teacher.
Yeah.
Why it is so? This is a big question what parent need to understand. If you wanted to earn good amount of money, whether you are in a job or in a business, then why not a teacher should be paid a good amount of money?
Correct.
So she or he also deserve a good lifestyle and respectable, status in the society. For that, she should be paid good
Correct.
salary. And for that matter, schools need to charge a respectable amount of fee from the parent. If the fee versus the delivery is not happening, then it is the big question. Otherwise, because now, see, I built a school. I spent some lakhs of rupees. I built a preschool. I have to maintain that infrastructure. I have to upgrade it.
Correct.
I have to hire good teachers. I have to hire good, support staff to take care of the children. I have to pay the electricity bills.
Correct.
Because the AC is the need of the hours. Every school is having air condition. And the good transportation system to help the parents to deliver the children at home. So if parents are looking for a good services, then they have to pay some extra money.
Yeah.
So this is the one thing they need to understand. So why is the question mark on the school only? This is a big question again. One thing. Second thing, this is a partnership with the between the parent and the school. So we both have the complete responsibility together to make the child what we want it to. What is the need of the child? We need to understand at the parent, at the school also. Then accordingly we have to work together. Then only a child will become a bright student or a bright
It's
citizen
a
of the
partnership.
country.
I get it, and I also agree to your point that, and I'm a big proponent of free market, right? That if everything is how a free market is supposed to work, you have a product or a service. If it is good enough, it will sell. If it is not good enough, it will shut down, right? So, and of course, if anything is free, and if there is no checks and
No
balances,
outcome is there.
and no checks and balances,
no checks
right?
and balances
because
there.
The exchequer is
Because
paying for it.
whatever fee is coming, you have no right to ask.
Correct. So I do get your point, and I see I'm also part of the preschool industry, so I understand the struggle of with the rentals going up.
Yeah.
So that's another thing, right? So I understand what you said, that in a free market, there's always going to be a service, and there's always going to be some expenses related to that service. Coming to the expense part, a lot of preschools in urban areas facing huge problems because rentals have gone crazy. Right? So parents, of course, everybody wants slightly better, and we've discussed that enough, that somebody who can afford, who's in a rural area is looking at school in a semi-urban area. A semi-urban guys are dreaming that, I should have, or my child should go to a school like a urban area. And, so everybody's upwardly mobile. Now, from that perspective, everybody wants bigger school. Everybody wants AC. You said has become. When we were growing up, we just had fans. Sometimes they also never worked, right? At least I went to a government school, and that was a story. And so everybody's expecting a little extra, right? Rents are going up, and with all this added pressure, where do you see the industry going? I want both the 25-year-old, experience perspective, and relatively younger perspective, not if not like really young perspective. So where do you see the industry going? And
See, there's the human nature. Everybody looks or dream for the some
something
better
better.
thing
Yeah.
what they have today. So there's no harm in that. So every parent should look for the good education for their children, and specifically at the young age, early age. Because this is the foundation stage. So they should focus on the good quality education for their young one, and they should not compromise on that. I tell you, when I was going to school, though I studied in government school, but there was fees 10 rupees monthly. So my parents used to cap the my monthly expenses, whether it is tuition expense or my books expense or my monthly tuition fees expense separate. Then they plan their expenses. But now the things have changed. So we need to understand where the society is going. We need to understand what is the need of the hours. Need of the hours will never change. Need of the hour is always the good quality education for every child.
Correct.
We should not, or we cannot compromise on that. So rentals and the expenses are going high. That's why the fee is increasing, because we have to maintain the balance.
Correct.
So we cannot stop opening the school because need is there. Then we have to.
Correct.
This is our responsibility to the society. So we need to open the school in particular area where the need is there. That's why I said we are going to small market or maybe
Smaller
semi-rural
cities,
area or sea towns also. So we have to keep the balance. We need to counsel the parents. You should why the fees a little high? Why we are increasing fees? So there is huge hue and cry whenever any school increase the fees. So parents need to understand if their mobile bills are increasing, if their restaurant bills are increasing, if their traveling cost is increasing, if their petrol
basic
cost,
inflation, right?
everything
Yeah,
will increase.
there's
Why not the school fee will
Yeah.
increase?
So I think a 5 to 7%
Yeah.
increase
So
is
rentals
not
in
frowned upon.
last 5 years have gone 3 times.
Yeah, that was my
That's true.
that was my thing, right? While everything has been moving at, and even schools, I don't think so. Schools would at the most go beyond 10%.
No,
not
Right?
possible.
no
Not
school
possible.
can
possible.
increase beyond the 10%,
Yeah.
because this is our moral duty also to maintain the fee
Yeah.
what is affordable to the parents.
So the point is, if schools are not going beyond
Yeah.
10%, I'm saying most schools. We don't
Most
guarantee all
schools.
schools, but
Yeah.
I'm saying most schools won't go beyond 10%. But if the rentals have gone 3 times, then it is the market is challenging for.
See, I tell you, as we work on the franchise model. So because the profitability has gone down of my franchisees, so they have stopped expanding. So I have many franchisees who opened one branch after the other. So because now they don't have that much of extra money saved
To start another
so
school.
they are not planning to open one more school. So again, that is a problem, because if
Correct.
any need is there, they should open the school.
Correct.
So that is the only thing. I think this is a matter of time. It will settle down, because the property, whoever is opening a school or any venture in rental property, it will not survive for a long time at such of rental. But again, I will advocate whatever rentals are there, but we need to pay good salary to the teachers, because rental is the premises where we need to set up a school, but the quality education will be delivered by the teachers only.
Yeah. So
So
places,
we should not
yeah.
compromise on the salaries of the teacher. We can compromise on the premises. We will not take the premises on the main
Road, we can
main
go
road, or
little
maybe inside the lane to cut down the rental expenses. But we should not compromise on the teachers'
Agreed,
quality.
completely agreed. What's your perspective? Where do you see the market going with all these new challenges?
So basically, I feel the down the lane, the major change which is going to come, and especially looking into the fact that now NAP has come into place after decades, and also it talks a lot about early years, which is a great thing for all of us as educators. So I think now what is going to happen down the lane is standardization of preschools, because right now, if you see, there is no standards that have been maintained all across. So if I want to open in a 1 BHK also, I can open. Now what will you teach a child in a 1 BHK? right? And what is the growth that we're looking at it? If the child is going out of the house and going to a preschool, another one BHK preschool, right? So, and I think that really needs to come in quickly, right? That's when we are saying about, when we're talking about quality education. So when we're talking about quality education, infrastructure is also an important part of it, right? It needs to have some learning spaces also, right? Then we're talking about educators also. So since early years has come into like a formal education spectrum, I think somewhere down the lane, mandatory teachers qualification would also come into place, right? So these are the few things that I'm really looking forward to, that we implemented ASAP, right? In the in preschool education especially. And also, and hence what we're talking about, that parents are not spending that much, or they should choose quality education. Once all of this is in place, like mandatory requirement to become a preschool teacher, or having a minimum requirement of space and certain checkpoints, like how a formal school has to get an affiliation of CBSE, so each point has to be ticked, that this is, they needs to have this much of room space, field area, even the size of a staircase is being measured when they give an affiliation. So I think eventually this will come into place, and this will give a quality education, and hence parents eventually would have to pay a certain amount to do a preschooling.
Correct.
Right. And I think one thing that I always keep on saying, that is my personal perspective, that eventually all the schools, all the private players especially, should start doing it, to maintain certain level of quality with the teachers also, because I know that there are no specific degrees for early years educators, but I think we should work a lot on their skill set, whether it's the training programs and all of those things. And also very important, the assessments. The assessments of the teachers really need to come in formally, right? Whether we're talking about preschool or K-12 also, we have been doing it for a long time, and we know the kind of difference it makes, right? Because even in K-12, we're now trying to introduce that, and I keep on telling in the fraternity that this really works out well for us.
Yeah.
Because what happens, that when a teacher becomes a teacher after doing a B.Ed, right? That's it. Then whatever that you're doing
So
on,
you're saying continuous upgradation of
that
teachers.
is very important.
And assessment.
Upgradation also, and assessment also.
Assessment
So
also.
upgradation to abhi bhi ho raha hai, because there are like we have, when we have a K-12 school, so there are mandatory trainings by CBSE, right? Which every teacher pertaining to
through,
their
but no assessments
subject,
are
yes,
happening.
there is no assessment. So what I've learned, where are my gaps, and where as a management I have to look at my team that, oh, I think this is by largely all of them need training on.
Correct.
So then when they go through an assessment, they'll understand that what actually their teachers need.
Correct.
Right? And teachers will also assess their skills also. So I think teacher assessment should be really, really implemented in future, right? To make teachers more powerful in the job that they do, because it's very important.
So from that perspective, let me ask you a question that I know you are a big fan of tech, and you've introduced some tech into the company, and how do you see tech playing a role in all these things, especially from your school perspective or preschool perspective?
So I think Sanfort has always resonated with using tech very bullishly. Like from day one only, when we launched the brand, we used to have those small touch screen, the screens were there, because at that time there were no touch screens or nothing like that in preschools. Even back then we introduced that, and going forward we introduced then bigger touch screen panels, and then AR curriculum that we are using right now, that all
from teacher training perspective.
Yeah,
you spoke
so-
about LMS.
Yeah, I'm coming on to that. So now what we are doing, the next thing that we are looking in Sanfort, because right now we were only working at the we were only looking at how children will use the
Correct.
technology, but now we have shifted to how parents should use the technology, how teachers should use the technology, so that all the stakeholders are are more enabled also, right? So we have our ERP also, we have an LMS also, right? So on those panels, all the teachers are also connected, and the parents are also connected. So everything is held uh, at the central level. So whatever is going into the different schools, to all the schools, it is going on our ERP. The teachers can log on to their ERP modules, can look at it. And also one thing that we really started doing, and as NEP also talks about, evidence based learning, which we're doing it through our ERP system also. So whatever the children they're doing in the school, the teacher has to capture all of that and make a learning journey out of it and upload it on the ERP, so that the parents are also able to see. So if you're saying that in the school we are focusing at their motor skills or their cognitive skills, so what is it that we're actually doing? What are the activities? So it becomes a learning journey for them, right? And it is all documented in the ERP. Also, parental involvement. So what we do is that we give a lot of activities for the home also, that the parent has to sit and do. It's not like कि आपको homework complete कराना है. As simple as something like that, it's mango season, so you have to make something with mango with your child on a Sunday, and have to capture it and put it on ERP. And then when the child comes back on Monday, all the children, they sit in a circle and they discuss about what they did with their parents. So all of that, it's the evidence based learning also that is happening, and the parental involvement, and it is just using the tech that we are doing it. And eventually we're also looking at the fact, now introducing AI as well, right? So I think a lot of things that we have been doing till now will become redundant. And obviously that's how it functions.
Like
I think we teachers used to spend a lot of time in making, especially in K-12 schools, a lot of time in making question papers, a lot of time in making lesson plans and all of those things. So now we are trying to integrate AI in that when the teacher has taught a lot of things, and she need to focus at the fact that I need to teach the child. I need to be with the child in the classroom and understand each and every child and their learning style. Her proficiency is not that she needs to sit and for hours and make the question paper, right? So that could be done with the help of an AI, which is very simple. So which could be done on your LMS, right? And also the lesson plans, because all that she needs to do is that whatever is there on the LMS, she pulls up everything and she makes a lesson plan. So we're working on those sort of grounds, whereas in the teacher only focuses at the core, and we're able to reduce the noise for her in the background and use AI in that space.
Yeah. So how do you see tech? Do you see it as a disruptor, or do you think it's an enabler, or just a support?
So this is always a perspective, how you look at technology. So when the computer came in India, everybody was worried कि हमारे job चले जाएंगे. But now all the big companies of the world are governed by Indian people, whether it is Google or Microsoft or any. So I always believe in the technology, because we can, as a human being, we can do certain things up to a certain level. But when we give it to the machine, it will think like machine only. So technology in education is the need today. We cannot ignore. Lots of discussion happens about the screen time of the child, about why we give that tablets to the child, why we give the mobile phone, why at what certain age the child should be allowed to access the technology. But today you cannot ignore, whether you like or not, right? You cannot ignore the technology, because today's children are are born in technology environment. You cannot take away technology from the children, so use it rightly. See, and the big thing, you cannot take away technology from the children. Big thing, what I visualize is use of the technology is best in case of small town, where we didn't find good teachers, we didn't find skilled teachers. So teacher can be used as facilitator. Give them training to use the technology. You give them training to use the content what we have
Made.
we have made. So the kind of quality content what you are delivering sitting in Mumbai or Delhi, we can deliver in any small town
Correct.
also.
Correct.
So technology is always enabler. It is how to use it.
Correct.
And how to take it. So I always in support of technology. It is up to the institution or the parent or the student how to take it up.
Correct. I completely agree with this. So and because I agree to this, I have a very interesting question for you. When was the last time you wrote something on a paper?
On daily basis.
You have a diary?
Yeah, on daily basis.
Write?
I have diary. See, I use my laptop just for certain things, but I maintain my calendar in my diary only.
Okay.
And I don't give anything to my assistants. You keep the record of it. I keep on writing in my diary. I keep all the records in my diary. So I always write in any calculation, any if any branch has to be set up. So I maintain in that diary. This work is done. This work is done. This has to be done.
Okay.
So I always write in diary.
How about you?
I've replaced it.
Yeah.
You don't.
I mean, similar to him, I loved writing. So I will always had a diary. But this year, I am trying to make it more efficient, to be honest, because I put the entire team on Microsoft completely. So everybody has to, chat there only. All the calendars are being maintained there only, so that everybody knows everybody's schedule. And
Nice.
Also, I use notes aggressively, right? Because I could immediately put it on my calendar also.
Correct.
It can give me reminders also. So I am trying to
You're
bring
going
in more
digital.
efficiency.
No, my
in that.
question was not from that perspective. My question, which is a follow-up, the real question now.
Yeah.
How much do you think writing is going to be important in the future?
See, again, writing become redundant
Yeah.
because today, maybe 10 years down the line or 15 years down the line, every child has to give the examination on the tablet or laptop. But I am an old generation, so that's why only I keep on
I don't
writing.
know. I'm not saying whether. See, writing has its own uses, right?
Yeah.
When we are teaching fine motor skill, holding a
It's
pen,
an important thing.
it's important for your fine motor
Yeah.
skill. But like what she pointed out, that college wants something, so the schools will do that. K-12 wants something, so preschool
Preschool has to do.
But everything comes from what the market wants.
Market want.
Right? So handwriting was important because we had to write everywhere, right? So good handwriting was always given better marks.
Better marks.
One extra for good handwriting. Teacher used to write,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But now, if in the future all work is happening on computer, then maybe writing is not an important skill.
Yeah.
Writing with your hand may not be an important skill required to do a job. So from that perspective, do you see writing will still be taught? Because at some point it's going to catch up.
We cannot completely discard the writing. Writing will remain there because if she writes on her tablet, she write with the pen. If any child will give the examination, maybe for next 10 years, so he has to write maybe on the tablets or maybe on the question paper, on the pen paper kind of setup. So, but everything could not be typed, as I believe. So writing will remain there, but the use of technology will become more, and it will grow with the time.
What is your opinion on writing?
I think it is going to. It is already becoming very redundant.
It will fade out?
Yes, it will definitely fade out in a bigger way because soon you will see. That's what I feel. My personal point of view, that schools are going to turn into bagless schools. Probably within a decade or so, because everything is just going to be digital. And if we are not adapting to it, we are actually pushing our children backwards. So I mean, writing or books and all of these things are going to definitely become
digital.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I also agree with you. It's required, but I agree with her more that it's going to fade out because I have a 14-year-old at home, 18-year-old, going to college. I see them much quicker on the computer
Then in
than
the
on a
writing.
book, right? The way they reply, it's much quicker. So they've been trained, as you said, a child is using iPad. So I think with writing skills, maybe typing skills will also become part of preschool.
Yeah.
If not K-12.
But again,
So-
this is going to be a point of discussion in the parent community. Why so much of screen time?
Yeah. Again, screen time is a different topic, and I don't, we'll run out of time if we get into that. So, this is one of the most important question that I have in my podcast is that, what we are trying to do with this podcast is reach out to parents, in some cases to students. In our case, because we are talking about preschool, not so much to the students, but young parents who've just had children who are thinking where to go, whether preschool is important, not important. Uh, but, but the whole idea of the podcast is education is important, right? And I think you guys are doing a fantastic job going right down to the last mile and teaching very young children. What is your idea of education? What is real education? Both of you, whoever wants to go first.
See, the purpose of education is to empower human being to uh, become a successful person in the country, in any community rather. So what I feel and what we are doing, what all parents are believe in, give the good education so that to empower the child to understand the things, to take their own decision, to become independent, and to decide. This is my perspective, to decide what they wanted to do.
Correct.
And not to decide on the basis of what
What the
their parent
parents.
wanted to do. So make them good decision maker, make them independent, and make them good human being. That is the purpose of education.
Interesting. What do you think?
If I have to define education in one word, that's going to be freedom. So freedom to sort of choose whatever that I want to choose. And more than that, education has to be about skills, completely about skills. So when you focus on the skills, or you let the child focus on their skills, then eventually whatever they want to become or whatever they want to be, they'll be able to excel in that, right? It
Yeah.
is not about subjects that you're teaching, it's about the skills that a child really wants to have, right? And probably the skills that you feel that some sort of life skills that every child should have, that should be the focus of education. Because eventually the child will get wherever they want to get.
Yeah.
I mean, looking back at our education, when I look at it, there were so many redundant things that we did or studied, which I'm not using it today, right, after so many years. So probably if I would have been in school, made realized that this is what you should do, or you're good at it, at this thing, you should focus at this, all of these things, probably I would have understood it way better, and I would have probably achieved before what I've achieved now. So I think in schools, and parents also need to focus at the skills that are good of a child, and that's what education is all about, and help the child uh, fill in the gaps with the skills. Because as we keep on talking about, we don't know what future brings, what sort of job opportunities, what sort of careers would be there that would exist. But if the core is right, the child is going to end up right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And yeah, I mean, that's the whole point, right? Like, a lot of people feel education is uh, learning a book or learning a stream,
Yeah.
like science or commerce, but real education is what you said, rightly
Yeah.
pointed out. It's getting freedom to choose what skill set
Yeah.
we want to, and education gives you that,
Right.
again, empowering somebody to choose the right career, giving them the freedom. So great. I think we had a great conversation, and I'm glad people like you are part of the education industry, going to the last mile, reaching out to the smallest segment or the lowest segment of the society, where who's aspiring to to get correct education. So kudos to you guys and more power to you. All the best. And thank you very much for coming to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jitu, for inviting us.
Thank you. And I think you're doing a great job in terms of there is nobody that's talking about education.
Yeah.
So education really needs to talk about, when somebody asks me anything, whether a parent or a teacher, that how do I do this? How do I change this? I said, one thing I believe in, if you talk about one thing again and again, the change will come
happen.
into place.
Yeah.
So it's
So
great
on
that
that
you're
note-
talking about it.
So on that note, if you can ask people to like and subscribe, I think that'll be great.
Yeah.
Yes, please like and subscribe. It's about education, and I always say we're talking about Viksit Bharat and all of these things. We need to understand education is the core of
Core
it.
of all these things, yeah.
So if you're not talking about education, if you're not changing education, that all
Nothing
will
is gonna
not
happen.
happen.
So thank you very much.
विश्व गुरु बनना है तो एजुकेशन की बात करने पड़ेगी.
करनी पड़ेगी.
Correct. So on that note, thank you very much, and
you.
that's the end of our podcast. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.